Hi, this is Tony English once again, giving you a market update on the real estate business from English Realty. Everybody keeps asking me what's happening with houses. Are we in a bubble? Is it about to crash? This is kind of the common thread right now in the media and people talking to me and asking questions. And basically what happened was the last year was incredible anomaly. I mean, when I get a listing, I would get 20 offers and all above asking and desperate people asking for no contingencies, things like that. But market, with the rates going up a little bit, the market's cooling down a little bit, but this is not a bubble like before. Everybody still has that fear from the trauma in 2008. They're really hurting still from that, and so we have this kind of cultural zeitgeist about, everybody thinks they're smart now and they're going to sell and wait for it to crash and all kind of things. No, this is not what's happening. I predicted about 2 years ago, the first time, then a year ago, I sent a letter telling everybody about inflation. And everybody's saying it's because the government's spending too much, and that's one of the many factors of why we have inflation and why we're going to have more inflation. And I could get into a real boring economic discussion about it, but I'm going to tell you, basically, inflation is going to happen and it's going to spiral out of control because the government, at this point, when you put in all the interest payments on the debt they've already borrowed, and then you calculate in the the expense of entitlements and all the unfunded liabilities, we're basically at 100%. The cash flow coming in is about 100% of what we're paying out. So the government, the financial government, is really in a bind right now, and they want to lower inflation by raising rates, but that's going to cause a recession, which will bring in less revenue, and they'll have to borrow more money. So we're about to go into an unescapable spiral, and the only way they can do it is let inflation run, because that'll get the debt worth less, and then hopefully the economy will build and they'll start to climb out of it. That's the only way they're going to go. But they're not going to be able to stop inflation unless they've caused basically a near depression. So, and they're not going to do that because everybody wants a short-term political win right now. So it's not going to happen. So why is that important? It's important because owning a house or owning real estate during a spiraling inflationary time is the best hedge against inflation. People, family trusts, investment firms, they start investing in real estate because they can get a relatively low rate, even if it's 6-7%. When inflation is 15%, they're hedging against it. So they're borrowing money on, a negative feedback loop there. So they buy as many properties as they can, and that actually drives the price up, but also the price goes up because of inflation. It takes more dollars to buy it. So we might have like an initial little bump down here with rates going up, initial shock period. But what happens is, wages start going up and there's a lag, but it keeps going. So my advice to people is, if you're thinking about selling and holding on to cash and waiting for it to crash, very, very, very unwise. And I talk people out of that all the time. If you're thinking about moving up and getting something nicer, even if the rate is 5.5%, you're going to kick yourself in the future. You're going to say, "Well, I could have had a 5.5% rate," and this is the time to move up or to move somewhere else. If you want to move somewhere else and buy an equal amount of equity, then that would be a smart thing to do. Or if you're thinking about buying an investment property and you're thinking, "I'm going to wait until it goes down," no, I wouldn't wait. This is the time to do it. The offers, when I get listings now, instead of 20, 25 offers, I'm getting 3 or 4. Instead of it being 3 days on the market, it's 2 weeks maybe. And so that's a hot market still. People say, "Oh, it's really slowed down," and all that. No, 25 years of experience, that's a hot market. I remember when it was a normal market to have 30, 60 days on the market, and that was just normal for many, many years. And rates were 6, 7, 8%. So, but that being said, the government is in a real tight place. If you want to discuss that in person, give me a call and I'll explain it. But there is no solution right now other than going bankrupt. See, what the government does, real briefly, is they put these bonds out, but other countries and other big investors are not buying the bonds because they have such a low interest rate on them. So what's happening is they need to fund the government, so they issue bonds and they buy them back, and they're buying a big majority of the bonds themselves, which floods the markets with cash, and so the dollar goes down in value. And so you can buy gold, but then you float with inflation. You can buy Bitcoin, but everybody's got these fear factors in that, and so it'll eventually probably go up. But right now it's going crazy, going down. So I mean, real estate really is the very, very best hedge for buying and investing. And so that's my advice, and that's my answer to that question. If you have any other questions about real estate, about buying, selling, investing, I have lots of years of experience. I'd love to help you, and I'll do it very altruistically. I'll tell you not to sell if I think you shouldn't. I'm here to help you out. That's how I live my life. All right? Call me sometime.